The American government and the big corporations have no honor. Neither do martial artists or the military. They have tried every form of coercion you can imagine, trying to get me to do what they want. As a matter of principle, I will not budge, no matter what happens. Unlike Americans, I am a man of honor. Now, I urge you all to realize that they do things in a way that you cannot prove, and even if you could, the court would be very unfair with you. And even if you could otherwise prove it. They harass individuals like you wouldn't believe. I've seen a lot of liberals involved, and I don't think it's a coincidence that the president is a Democrat, and almost certainly Hillary Clinton is about to win again. However, I do not think it would matter if a conservative won. I think that it is very despicable how things work. How you are punished for doing the right thing. And more often than not, your own family will help them do it. Perhaps they are coerced as well. I don't know. Certainly we see that there are certain ethnic groups, or rather racial groups, that are disproportionately responsible. Just because I told the truth about politics, controlled opposition, the pharmaceutical sector, and I made a fair martial arts challenge in the most common and effective form. They didn't want to even go out in public and say why I'm wrong, if I am, which certainly I am not. I have been threatened with everything you can imagine the whole time. I'm not budged. They drug you to put you in a state of mind where, you're more likely to panic. And you're more suggestible. And when they start doing these things to you, it makes you want to hurt them. Makes you want to get revenge on them. And I think there's some points of the Myra May story and the Navy Yard shooter that they're not talking to us about. I think they finally did something to push them over the line. Even right now, I woke up, about 1 in the morning, which is, I go to sleep usually, pretty early. And the drugs perhaps were responsible for waking me up, so I feel I'm very drugged right now. I have 14 witnesses, and, one thing we all should understand is that if you don't want to be a slave, you can't give in to these people. You can't say, well, I don't want this to happen, because then they'll hold that over you forever. What are you going to do? Bend over for dogs and gays? You have to take a stand. You can't let them blackmail you or intimidate you or coerce you, not even a little bit. You have to put your foot down. Stand for what is right. We live in a criminal society, and I've known this for a long, long time. I've seen the police collaborate with drug dealers growing up when I used to buy weed. I've seen, every form of criminal collaboration you can imagine. So as I started doing my research into the Great Conspiracy, I wasn't surprised at all. These people subtly tell you what they're going to do, using people they plant into your life. and then they do it. You have to transcend. When I say resist, defy, transcend, you can't be attached to anything, not of this world. You have to stand for principle and honor to the end. I will never budge. I knew for a long time that the end was coming for me one way or another. These drugs have been taking their toll for a long time, even messing up my vision. And of course they have plausible deniability with that because my parents wear glasses. That is why the MK Ultra guys were looking for substances that would mess up your vision, among other things. Temporary loss of memory, etc. When you look at substances which promote weakness or distortion of the eyesight or hearing facilities, okay, that way they can try to coerce you. When they say control human behavior, they don't necessarily just mean drugging you until you are some kind of a puppet. They also mean trying to intimidate you and giving you drugs that make you more, vulnerable to intimidation. You have to stand firm. I want you all to ask yourselves, how far will you let the system tell you what to do? There is a concerted effort to screen out the most revolutionary of us, and we've all known that for a long time. We know how oppression works. A lot of you don't know the fine details. It's a greater scheme to control human behavior. They will sabotage you financially in every other way. And there isn't much you can do about it, though there are some things you can do about it. America is a very corrupt nation that has spread that corruption around the world for a long time. They have bribed and blackmailed people for decades to get their way on the global stage. If any of you doubt the things that are happening to me, I feel very sorry for you. They also like the problem solution. They like, trying to make people gay, coercing them, trying to make people turn to a controlled opposition group or somebody who's one of their puppets for help. They want to destroy you and reinvent you as their complete and total slave. Mentally, spiritually, physically, politically, socially. You have to stand firm. Don't value your things. There's nothing that they should be able to take away from you that will break you. Don't fall for this consumer society. Don't care about your things. Don't care about your life more than your principles. Don't be a moral relativist like these nihilistic dogs. Adhere to sacred morality. I mean, you're the best at something when they resort to cheating, drugging, and other lowly forms of sabotage that can only be done by the lowest forms of life. You must always understand that they will sabotage you any way they can. If they plan to assassinate you, they will sabotage your weapons. If they have some sick, fixated, complex-having criminal fixating on you, they will sabotage your love life. These people have no morals. They have no lines. And law enforcement, more often than not, we see historically, helps them do it. It was law enforcement on the highest levels that were helping them run MK Ultra. They placed control over morality, and I don't think anyone in America right now doubts that. Even the cowards who go on TV and YouTube and so on and say how law enforcement is so great and they put their lives on the line and blah, blah, blah. We all know they're all criminal scum. We all know that they seek to punish anyone who exposes them in an uncontrolled manner. And even though some of those who are controlled, but they're still controlled bitches.